today we're talking about my very first creation convention. Let's freaking go! But if you're new here, hi, I am Navya. This is my fangirl diary, and you should absolutely be subscribed because it's free and I fill you in on all of the goings on in the supernatural fandom and the convention community. So make sure that you're following. Last month, the creation, Rhodes so far, Rode Ahead. I think that's what it's called. It has a very long name. Rhodes so far, Rode Ahead Creation Convention, the Supernatural Creation Convention, was in Toronto at the same time that I was in Toronto. So obviously, I had to go. Well, I say this like I didn't plan it, but I did kind of plan it, but my plans kind of fell apart and came together at the last minute. So I was originally intending to be there for at least half of the weekend, so I wanted to do 2 days. But what ended up happening was I didn't have that much time, so I ended up doing just the 1 day. So this is a very, very accurate and honest recount of just the Friday. So I have no idea what other days of the creation tour look like, but I know what the Friday looks like, specifically in Toronto, Canada. Okay, so let's jump into it. So they had a pretty good lineup. But on Friday, the only people that I saw were DJ Qualls, Cohen, Brianna Buckmaster, Kim Rhodes, and some more. I'm gonna pop them below. Sorry if I forgot. Elena Huffman was there. I know I missed a panel or two because it was also my last day in Toronto, so I had other things that I needed to get done. So I missed a panel or two around like lunch, I think. So these were the people who were there. Faces below. And most of them had panels on Friday. There were obviously other people like Ruth, Mark Sheppard, Jensen, Misha, obviously, and many others. But they were only on the weekend days. So they were really on Saturdays and Sundays. So I wasn't there for that. Let's talk about my experience. So I was kind of worried because I had a day ticket and I could only register on the day off. So that means I had a day ticket for Friday and I could only register on Friday. And given my experiences at Purgatory with the extremely long lines and, registration taking such a long time, I was kind of worried that I'm going to miss some stuff. But it was easy. They had a registration table, which was like 10 feet from the panel room. You just walk in, get registered, show them your ticket. They give you a wristband or whatever you have. So I think you get a lanyard for just the weekend ones, and then the day tickets get a wristband, something like that. So you get a wristband, you get the works, and that's all. It took me like a grand total of 15 minutes, and I stayed to chat with some of the staff and the volunteers working there. So that's probably why it took me a little bit longer. But no, it's really quick. They're really efficient about it. There's no long lines. It could also be that there are slightly longer lines on Saturdays and Sundays when more people are actually there. But on a Friday, it was completely chill. Just breezed right through. And then I made it in time for the opening. So that was one of the things that I was worried about because I just made it in time for the opening. And I thought I was going to miss it, but I didn't. The opening is really short. So at Purgatory, I actually did miss the opening. Sorry. But the opening here at Creation is really short. It's like 15 minutes. Loud and Swain comes on. They play their music. It's amazing. It's a great start. Most people are kind of sleep deprived because it's like a Friday morning at like 10. So the vibe isn't really vibing, but it's a fun time because, hey, it's Loud and Swain, so we love them. So they do the opening. In comparison to Purgatory, so the Purgatory opening, everyone was on stage. I wasn't there, but I know that everyone was on stage. So the entire lineup was on stage. All of the guests, everyone that you're going to be taking pictures with, everyone that you're going to see at autographs, everyone was there. Which is kind of what I expected here, but it makes sense because it's a 3-day convention, so not like Jensen's probably not even in Toronto yet, right? So it kind of makes sense that not everyone was there. So that's one of the big differences that I noticed right off the bat because I knew I wasn't going to be seeing all of them in panels, but I was kind of hoping that I would see them at the opening, just so even if I missed it, I caught them at the opening because it was the same like Purgatory opening and closing. Everyone is there. I don't know whether Creation closing has everyone on stage too, but at least for the opening, not everyone's going to be there. So on Friday, there were a bunch of different panels with some of the people that I mentioned before. They're mostly really chill. I think the first panel was Adam Ferguson and David Hayden Jones. Oh my god, they were great. I completely forgot about them in my original lineup. But yes, they were the first panel. And they were great. They really warmed the crowd up. It was a fun time seeing them both. And then we had DJ Qualls, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'm doing all of this off of memory, by the way. So we had DJ Qualls next, and he was amazing. I love DJ. I'm such a big DJ fan. Honestly, one of the big reasons I wanted to go was because I wanted to like see DJ, because he doesn't do any conventions in Europe, or not in the last year at least. So I was like really excited to see DJ. I also did get a chance to go up and talk to him, and he was such a sweetheart. But yeah, DJ was second, and also shout out, by the way, to Locked and Probably Loaded, which is DJ's podcast. So if you're a DJ fan like I am, you should absolutely be listening to that, because it's a fun time. Okay, I found the actual program, which is what I should have done from the beginning. All right, so it basically went as I said it did, but I missed Sam Smith. I'm sorry. I completely forgot that she was the one after DJ. So there was Sam, and Sam was a little sick. So she came on with Adam Ferguson, and they were a cool team. It was nice to see them both. And then they had a bit of a break before Julian Richings and Lisa Berry, and then Elena Huffman, and then they had Matt Cohen. So I was a bit wrong about that. And then there was a panel with Jason Mans, and finally the day programming ended with Brianna and Kim. So it was a nice lineup, but as you can see, it's very much focused on the second ring of actors and characters. So no Jensen, no Misha, no Ruth and Mark. So all of like the fan draws almost were not there, which makes sense because they have to like also spread it out over the course of the 3-day weekend. So yeah, but a little sad for me. All of the panels were great. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. They were all phenomenal. My favorite panel was DJ, obviously. But I also had a really good time at Matt's panel. Matt is amazing. He's so funny. So if you haven't seen the Matt panel in person yet, you absolutely should. Like, that's one of the big draws for going to Creation, because you get to see all of these people that you might not otherwise get to. Everyone else was great. Elena was amazing. Adam Ferguson and David Hayden Jones, phenomenal chemistry, very funny people, totally worth seeing in person. They were great. And yeah, Kim and Brianna top the day. Like they were great. They were perfectly timed, and yeah, it was all of the panels were amazing. I cannot recommend them more. If all you do is go to Creation and sit in the panels, I don't think you're missing out on much. I mean, there are other things you could be doing, but it's just a great experience to just be there and listen to them talk, because they're all very good and they're all phenomenal performers and entertainers. So when I found the program for Toronto, I also found the specials for Thursdays and Fridays. So on Thursday, there was a boys location tour in Toronto, which I didn't go to. I didn't go to any of these. But there was also something that I thought was really cool, which is cocktails with Richard Spade Jr. So that was like, I think that's a good one. Like, if that's something that you're interested in, I think that's the one you should be buying. And it's also on a Thursday, so you get that out of the way, so you can chill and just enjoy the rest of the weekend. On Friday specifically, there's a photography workshop, typically. Brianna and Kim's PJ party, which is also comes highly recommended. Drums from Hell with Mark and Steven. Paint party, which is themed on the hunt in black and white. Cocktail hour with David Hayden Jones. Pre-karaoke with DJ, and then post-karaoke also with DJ. So again, a great variety of options on Thursdays and Fridays for you to check out if you're interested in getting the specials like me. So my kind of priority always is to do things that I haven't done before, clearly. So I really enjoy like checking all of these things out and checking the specials out. I did not take any specials because my time was very, very limited, and I just couldn't swing it. Like, I couldn't put it in my schedule to like do any of these extras, so I did not do anything. On Friday, however, there's also karaoke, and karaoke is free, and it's like it's the second last event of the night, because DJ does a post karaoke as well. So it's the second last event of the night, and that's something that I could make time for, thankfully. So I did go for that, and that was a fun time. Like, you can sign up early on in the day if you want to sing a song, and then you just go up and sing with them. So it's a cool time. Highly recommend it, and it's free, so you should definitely go. Like, it's included, you're paying for it already. So and DJ put this really well. He said that this is a way for creation to say thank you, or like for the artists and the cast to say thank you to the audience for consistently showing up and being there. Let's switch gears and talk a little bit about seating and tickets real quick. So you have the standard stuff. You have the gold, silver, copper weekends, general admission, and then preferred day seating. So preferred Friday, preferred Saturday, preferred Sunday. So the usual works. Compared to Purgatory, the room was much, much, much smaller. So I did not feel like there were a lot of people. I did not feel overwhelmed, which is something that I did experience on my first day at Purgatory. I was like, this is a lot of people. I feel like I'm drowning. That was not the vibe. I think the other reason why that was not the vibe is because creation is, sad to say that, but they're very efficient, because I know that a lot of people have mixed feelings about creation, but they are very efficient. They are good at what they do. How they do it is a different discussion that I am not going to get into, but they are very efficient. You don't see, one of the things that I experienced at Purgatory was just hallways being absolutely flooded with people not knowing where they're supposed to be going. This was not the mood at all at creation. Everyone knew where they were supposed to go. Everything was aligned, and things were very progressing very smoothly. Efficiency was paramount. Another thing worth mentioning is that a third of the room was filled up. So 2/3 of the room was empty. And I thought maybe this was like a Friday thing. So I went and I spoke to some of my friends and I asked them, hey, are Fridays always like this? Are Fridays always like significantly quieter than the other days? And they did tell me that this is almost always the case, that Fridays are kind of empty. There aren't a lot of people on Fridays. But what I heard later on from people who were there at Toronto on Saturdays and on the Saturday and the Sunday, not just on Saturdays and Sundays, but on that specific Saturday and Sunday, they told me that Saturdays and Sundays looked kind of similar. So it wasn't as empty as the Friday was, but it definitely wasn't completely packed. It wasn't a full house at all. People have mixed feelings about creation. This could be one of the reasons why half of Toronto, which is a major city, was basically empty. The other reason could be it's Toronto, it's Canada, so it's not happening in the US. Could be why a lot of people who go for these conventions are typically Americans, didn't show up. There could be a number of reasons. These are two of the ones that I could think of off the top of my head, and I'm not going to pontificate and speculate any further, but I just wanted to give a heads up, like, this might be something that you experience. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing for us as attendees. I think it's more of a problem for creation, but also I think even if it was a full house, I think given the efficiency in management that I saw, it would have been easily handled. I don't think it would have caused problems for anyone and affected anyone's experience on the weekend. The venue also was kind of smaller than what I was accustomed to, especially like at Purgatory. So that's also something to kind of keep in mind, that I think they set it up as a smaller tent altogether than Purgatory was. Maybe they do a bigger tent in like other cities, like down in the US, like Boston and things like that. But for Toronto, even though Toronto being a major city and all that, it was limited. Vendor's room. So the vendor's room was surprisingly disappointing for me, because I expected there to be a very lively vendor's room. There is all of the stuff that you can get, like anything that you want. You want Loud and Swain stuff, you want Dictionary and the Volunteer stuff, radio company stuff, all of that stuff you're definitely getting in the vendor's room at Creation. But other than that, it's pretty mild. There isn't a lot to do in the vendor's room. I'm gonna put some B-roll here so you can take a look for yourself. Yeah, it's just the most okay vendor's room that there is. Nothing too special. The one thing that I did think was supposedly special about the vendors room is Roadhouse, which is all the way, always all the way at the back. I didn't get a chance to go to Roadhouse because Roadhouse gets like, you need to get a day ticket for Roadhouse to go to Roadhouse. So I didn't have time, so I didn't get a day ticket to go to Roadhouse. Also because I just wanted to experience the panels, just wanted to get like a basic bare bones experience of what creation feels like. So I didn't go to Roadhouse for all of those reasons and many more. But I don't know, Friday at Roadhouse also seemed kind of quiet. Like there wasn't a lot happening. There were a couple of pictures that I saw. I think some of the painting classes and stuff were happening at Roadhouse. But in my time during the day, I didn't see a lot of activity at Roadhouse. But I have heard from people that Roadhouse is a phenomenal experience because it's a nice place to wind down, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed at the convention. Other than that, I think going for like photo ops and stuff like that, it's pretty standard. I think it's a lot more organized at Creation than it is anywhere else. Also because it was a Friday, there weren't as many people. I think it would be a little bit more chaotic on the Saturday and the Sunday, but I wouldn't call it significantly more chaotic. Autographs, on the other hand, most of them happen in the vendor's room, so you can just go up to people's tables and get an autograph from them. There are certain times when they're going to be available, and not others. I think they also positioned it so that some autographs were happening in the main theater after the day programming was over. So those autographs are a little bit more sort of managed. So you have to like wait for your turn to be called, and it's a longer queue. But again, not chaotic in the least. You just gotta like wait a little bit more for those autographs. So, overall thoughts, and would I do it again? Yes, I would definitely do it again because I want the full weekend experience. But as a starter, as a first time with no idea what to expect at Creation, this was great. I think they organized it pretty well, they set everything up pretty well, and so I'm really happy with my experience of it, and I am looking forward to more. The one thing that I will mention is that Creation prices are very expensive and you have to buy products individually. So if you're buying a day ticket plus a special or an extra or a photo or an op, these are all transactions that you're going to have to complete separately, and you get charged booking fees on all of them. So just something to kind of keep in mind. I think most people already know about this. This is talked about quite a bit. If you want to hear more about it, let me know below and I'll try to do another video. But yeah, other than that, I think Creation is a really good experience. Like as a whole, it creates a nice supernatural tent, and depending on like where you're at, you can attend, but your experience will differ quite a bit. Like if you don't want to spend a lot and you just take a day ticket and come for a day like I did, you don't take any extras and ops and things like that. Again, Friday might be nice because it's karaoke and you get to like meet people and stuff like that. But if you want to do something special, if you want to make it memorable, you are going to have to spend a certain amount of money, and that might be a bit of a problem with the way Creation operates right now. But that's all I'm going to say on that. And yeah, that's where I will leave it. If you have any questions about Creation, pop them below and I'm happy to answer them. And that's all from me. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and clicking that bell, and I'll see you soon.